Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Last year, the average cost of a data breach actually hit millions of dollars. Millions. It really proves that the stakes for protecting our networks have literally never been higher. So today, we're demystifying the modern cybersecurity landscape. We're going to break down advanced threats, build up those enterprise-grade digital shields, and explore the incredibly fascinating world of proactive ethical hacking. So, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the cybersecurity landscape, then move into understanding cyber threats, securing your digital network, defending the human element, and finally, the ethical hacker.
All right, Section 1, the cybersecurity landscape, what it is and why it matters.
Now, before we can effectively defend our territory, we really need to look at how exponentially our perimeter has expanded. Cybersecurity, well, it's no longer just about protecting a centralized, isolated business server in some locked basement. It's the absolutely vital practice of securing a sprawling, decentralized web of mobile devices, remote access points, and super complex cloud storage environments from these sophisticated digital attacks. In today's hyper-connected landscape, your digital footprint is massive, and leaving even a single node unguarded, that compromises the entire ecosystem. It's like leaving the back door wide open while you triple lock the front. Moving on to Section 2, Understanding Cyber Threats, the rogues gallery of the digital world. Let's introduce the highly motivated threat actors that are currently out there probing our networks. And listen, we aren't just talking about basic self-replicating malware anymore. No way. We are looking at a highly organized ransomware as a service operations. This is where cybercriminal syndicates actually lease out sophisticated encryption tools to the highest bidder. Plus, attackers are now utilizing artificial intelligence to craft these hyper-targeted spear phishing campaigns. They flawlessly masquerade as trusted internal entities to just totally bypass complex perimeter defenses. It's wild. So why do they orchestrate these complex, resource-heavy breaches in the first place? Well, it all boils down to one ultimate prize: your data. But this goes way beyond simple identity theft or credit card fraud. Attackers are actively exfiltrating proprietary business intelligence and leveraging these devastating double extortion tactics. That means they don't just encrypt your files, they threaten to leak your most sensitive records to the dark web if the ransom isn't paid. Data is, undeniably, the absolute most lucrative currency in the modern illicit economy. Okay, Section 3, Securing your digital network, building your digital shields. To pivot away from the alarm bells for a second, let's talk about how we drastically reinforce our defense mechanisms. Modern network security requires so much more than just basic traffic blocking. It requires next-generation firewalls to dynamically inspect and filter traffic right at the application layer. And instead of relying on legacy, signature-based antivirus, the old stuff, organizations now depend on proactive endpoint detection and response tools. These continuously hunt for and neutralize anomalous behavior. And to prevent data interception, we deploy robust end-to-end encryption protocols. This renders intercepted data mathematically useless to anyone who doesn't have the actual cryptographic keys. We also have to remember that the traditional walled garden network perimeter, it's completely dead. Our critical protection zones now encompass vulnerable home Wi-Fi networks, remote mobile endpoints, and multi-tenant cloud environments. In a landscape where your network is literally everywhere you work, adopting a strict zero-trust architecture across all these zones is absolutely essential for survival. It operates on the principle of never trust, always verify. That brings us to Section 4, Defending the Human Element. You are the final firewall. Because even with military-grade encryption and zero-trust policies totally locked in, the human element still remains the single most exploitable vulnerability in any organization. I mean, think about it. Hackers aggressively bypass those technical shields by attacking our psychology. They deploy highly convincing social engineering campaigns, utilizing fraudulent websites that are pixel-perfect clones of trusted portals. By manufacturing a false sense of urgency or panic, like, say, a compromised account alert, they manipulate us into voluntarily handing over our credentials before our critical thinking even kicks in. But hey, we can actively patch these human vulnerabilities through rigorous, enforceable security habits. It's no longer just about fighting that terrible urge to use a password like password123. It's about utilizing enterprise-grade password managers to generate and handle complex, unique cryptographic strings for every single account you have. And more importantly, enforcing multi-factor authentication, especially adopting hardware-based FIDO2 security keys or biometrics. That literally stops attackers cold, rendering stolen primary credentials completely useless.
So, with our networks secured, our zero-trust architecture established, and our authentication fortified, it begs a really interesting question. Can we beat hackers at their own game? Can we actually go on the offensive? Which leads right into Section 5, the ethical hacker, fighting fire with fire. This brings us to the highly specialized, offensive side of the security paradigm. Ethical hackers, often known as white hats. They utilize the exact same sophisticated exploits, reverse engineering techniques, and payload delivery systems as malicious threat actors. But the twist? They do it through sanctioned, heavily monitored penetration testing. By aggressively red teaming a company's defenses from the inside out, they identify and help patch zero-day vulnerabilities long before the cybercriminal syndicates even know they exist. It's like finding the leak before the ship sails. All of this leaves us with one critical question to wrap up this explainer. Who is testing your defenses before the hackers do? Because cybersecurity, it isn't just a static software installation you can install and forget about. It's a relentless, proactive arms race. To defend like a pro in today's high-stakes digital environment, you really have to start thinking exactly like an attacker. It's time to test your own shields.